What happens to your body after you die? No one wants to die, but it may be better to find out what happens to you now, so when your corpse starts turning purple, it doesn't come as such a horrible surprise. First up, when do you die? This may seem a simple thing to work out, but, historically speaking, it's not always been as clear-cut as you hope. Hans Christian Andersen, Alfred Nobel, Abraham Lincoln, and countless others throughout history have all feared being buried alive. And for good reason. People have been buried alive. A lot. The Romans were so worried about it, they would cut off a finger of your corpse to see if the stump bled, which is fine, assuming you're actually dead. They'd also do you the courtesy of yelling out your name 3 times, while you're on the funeral pyre.
Margaret! Margaret! Margaret!
So, if you didn't yell hey or bleed profusely from your stump, their thinking was you probably snuffed it. Admittedly, it wasn't foolproof, and humanity would go on to accidentally bury people alive for centuries. Thankfully, we've got better at detecting pulses and breathing, and these days define death as an irreversible cessation of spontaneous respiratory and cardiac functions, and irreversible cessation of all functions of the entire brain, including the brainstem being dead. Today, if someone declares you dead and they're a good doctor, it's almost certain you're a goner. So, what happens to your body while you're dead? You're going to stink out the room. Seconds after you die, your neurons stop functioning, meaning your brain stops secreting hormones to regulate other body functions. You enter primary flaccidity, where every muscle in your body relaxes. All of them, if you catch my drift. No? Well, everyone's about to catch your drift because without control of your sphincter, you're about to shit and piss yourself moments after you die. Not a huge amount, you also lack muscles to do any forcing out, but enough to make your ghost blush. Pallor mortis. 15 to 20 minutes after death, if you have light or white skin, you're going to go through some pallor mortis. Your skin will turn even paler, but considering you're dead, lack of rouge is the least of your problems. Alga mortis. Working your way through the least disgusting mortises. Next up is alga mortis. Your body now starts to match the temperature of wherever you are. In a normal place, it will get colder. If it's an oven, you'll heat up, and also, it might be why you died in the first place. Don't get used to your new temperature, because as soon as you begin to decompose, your gut bacteria starts to digest itself, and you begin to get nice and toasty again. Rigor mortis. When you're alive, your muscles contract and relax due to 2 motor protein filaments, actin and myosin. When your muscles are contracted, they remain until the endosine triphosphate binds to the myosin, causing your muscles to relax. Without oxygen for a short time, your body produces endosine triphosphate, but eventually stops this. Finally, without it, your muscles remain tense, and your body becomes stiff, starting with your smaller muscles, such as in your face, hands, and feet, and working your way up. Soon, most of you will be distressingly rigid. Blood pooling. With no way of pumping blood around the body, our old friend gravity takes over. Your blood pools at whatever parts of the body happen to be nearest to the ground, turning you purple, whilst the rest of your body remains deathly pale. Self-digestion. Now that you're dead, your immune system will shut down. It's okay, you're dead, you don't need to worry about catching the sniffles. But shortly after death, your body is about to become a party of ravenous microbes. Without an immune system to keep them in line, your gut bacteria will begin to digest your intestines. Then, once it's broken free, any surrounding tissue, living off the chemicals that have leaked out of your damaged cells. Still hungry, it will head on to digest your liver before spreading to your heart and brain. As grim as this sounds, it does help forensic scientists figure out when you died. Bacteria spreads to your liver around 20 hours after death. Bad news, you're digesting yourself. Good news, we know it was around 58 hours ago because you've begun to digest every organ we've tested. Your hair and nails will look like they're growing. Your hair and nails do not keep growing after you die, but it will sure look like it as your skin becomes dehydrated and shrinks. Fun, and by fun we mean disgusting, fact. This may be a part of where the vampire myth comes from. When people in the past opened up coffins and found the dead had a new hairstyle and manicure, they weren't entirely logical about it. Couple this with an abdomen inflated by gases, and the local townsfolk will think you've been off feasting on the living and stopping off for a quick pedicure before returning to your coffin before dawn. It's steak and garlic time. You aren't done moving. Just because you're dead doesn't mean you can rest. Researchers at a body farm recently took a time-lapse of corpses every 30 seconds over a period of 17 months. The researchers expected to see some movement in the early days after death. Instead, they witnessed continued movement for over a year and a half. The motion could be as a result of ligaments shortening as they dry out. The arms were moving significantly. For example, arms that started down by the body's side ended up 90 degrees away from it. You'll enter the maggot cycle! As far as cycles you want to be included in, the maggot cycle isn't the top of the list. As you decompose, your body gives off a sickly sweet smell, which starts attracting flies. Every fly lays around 250 eggs, which hatch within 24 hours. These eat and grow until they're adults, and the cycle repeats until there's nothing left to consume. Maggots can consume up to 60% of your body within a week. If being eaten by maggots and bacteria wasn't enough, the larva will attract larger scavengers, also hoping for a tasty meal. Congratulations, you're now a skeleton! Within months, assuming your body isn't being preserved, you will decompose until there's nothing left but a skeleton. Your skeleton will become brittle and dry within 50 years. Your bones may last for hundreds of years before they too are dissolved by acid in the soil, which in turn enriches it, thus feeding life.